It's our final playoff game of the day here at Palm Springs Stadium, as the fourth-seeded Washington Bluesox will take on the number 1 overall seed in the American Division, the Oregon Lumberjacks. The winner of this game will move on to play the Palm Springs Chill in the American Division Championship. We just saw the Chill about 30 minutes ago walk off the Power in extra innings. It took 9 frames to finish off that ball game in which we saw terrific pitching performances from both aces, timely hitting, a little bit of ugliness, but that can all make for an extremely entertaining ball game. I'm Evan Schmeiser, joined by Joey Senna on an electric first day of the CWL playoffs. Now, Joey, here's what we have before us. We have the Bluesox. They've struggled throughout most of the season. They lost 8 games in a row at one point. They come in at 4-11. They have played better down the stretch. They have lost 3 out of their last 4 games, but all 4 of those games came down to 1 run. So they've been a lot more competitive recently, and with some really good pitching, especially with Trevor McGee getting the start today, I think they could give the powerful Lumberjacks a run for their money.
Yeah, absolutely, Evan. We have great pitching all day long today. Every team has their ace going out there for the first game of the playoffs for their team, and I'm expecting another pitching duel like we saw in Game 1 at the stadium, Evan.
Jared Dingus draws the start for the Lumberjacks. James Cross will settle into the left-handed batter's box. Dingus out of the windup. He goes, and the first pitch hits Cross right in his lower leg. 1 pitch and a leadoff hit batter. Not the way we expected to start today. With Cross on first, we'll take a look at the rest of the Bluesox lineup. Michael Bucchino digs in hitting second. Mitch Morales will bat third. Alejandro Lara in the cleanup spot, followed by Aaron Gex. Calvin Rucker hits sixth. Alexander Ford, the designated hitter, bats seventh. As the first pitch, Bucchino's inside 1-0. Killian Blitt will bat eighth, and the catcher Taylor Maldonado will round out the Bluesox lineup. Get to see Dingus out of the stretch very early. He slide steps and goes home. That one's on the inside corner for a called strike.
I'm excited to see how both of these lineups approach Jared Dingus and on the opposing side, Trevor McGee.
A short lead at first from Cross, and Dingus goes home. A short hops into the catcher, Combs. Moving up to second is Cross on a pitch that maybe only traveled 58 feet out of the hand of Dingus.
I'm eager to see if these hitters are going to be patient at the plate or if they're going to go up swinging at the first, second pitch they see, because sometimes those are the best pitches you see all at bat.
It's a Bluesox lineup that has struggled throughout parts of the season, hitting just .242 as a team, looking to manufacture an early run with a man on second and nobody out. That 2-1 is way inside, 3-1 the count to Bucchino. He's one of the bright spots in this Bluesox order. He comes in hitting .313, a double 5 RBIs to his credit. Dingus trying to work out an early jam. The 3-1 is a fastball. It's called inside. A hit batter and a walk to get things started for the top-seeded Lumberjacks.
Lack of command early on for Jared Dingus, trying to get in the rhythm in the first inning. Sometimes we see pitchers need an inning or two to get in rhythm and get command of all their pitches. So Jared Dingus just looking for the zone right here. That's why Scott Combs went out to have a quick meeting on the mound. Good meeting after hitting a batter and walking a batter.
Dingus does have big game experience. He has pitched in the Empire League for the Tupper Lake River Pigs. He has to work out of the stretch. First and second, nobody out. It brings up the third man, Mitch Morales. He gets to start at second base. A lot of room on the right side of the infield. The first pitch is called a little inside. Dingus is 2-1 on the season, .475 ERA. This will be his 5th start. 17 2/3 total innings. 20 strikeouts, 6 walks. His command has been pretty good throughout the year. Battling that a bit at the moment. That's a good fastball at the knees, 1-1 the count.
There he goes. Maybe get a call like that on the outside corner at the knees. Hopefully that can get you going if you're Jared Dingus on the mound for Oregon.
Dingus did take the loss in his last start, coming on the 9th against the A's. Went 4 innings, allowed 6 earned runs, that is. So he got hit around a bit. But he works ahead 1-2 to Morales. The Jacks try to turn a double play. Keep the Blue Sox on the board in the top of the first. Nobody out, first and second. Long looking from Dingus. He looks at the runner at second a couple times. And now timeout is called at home plate.
The right-hander, Dingus, 6'1", 210 pounds. He's a big guy. He's only 21 years young on the mound who looks in.
Well, now he comes set. Morales, the righty, standing right on top of the plate. He's able to lay off a good curveball. Evens the count 2-2. Morales hitting .351 this season. 3 doubles, 3 RBIs. Top of this lineup, first 4 batters in particular for the Blue Sox, they're pretty dangerous. Dingus comes set on the 2-2. He slide steps, that ball's back towards the middle, hits softly. Glove by Pamilia, steps on the bag at second, and he fires to first over the head of Monroe. That allows Cross to come around to score. Up to second goes Morales. A big-time break for the Blue Sox, already benefiting from a few early. Looked to be a tailor-made double play ball. Pamilia fielded it cleanly, stepped on the second base bag, tried to throw on the run, and completely airmailed the big first baseman, Chris Monroe.
That was a perfect double play ball if you're the Oregon Lumberjacks, just unable to execute cleanly here in the first inning as the Blue Sox take advantage and get a run early on.
Taking a first pitch fastball at the knees is Alejandro Lara. And this is an infield for the Lumberjacks in particular with Puglielli, Pamilia, and Heinrich. We're used to seeing them gobble everything up.
Yeah, we're used to seeing a clean defense from Oregon. No doubt about that, Evan.
Here's the 0-1 to Lara. That one's on the ground to the shortstop, Pamilia again. Fields it cleanly. He ends up pulling Monroe off the bag at first, but still plenty of time for him to apply the tag. At least to the second out of the inning, Morales advances to third on the throw.
We'll see Oregon defense start to settle down here in the next couple innings. I think just the start of the playoffs is like what Jacob said in game 1. The juices are flowing for them. They just need to settle down, relax, and get into work like it's just and treat it like it's just another ball game.
Brings up Aaron Gex. He's hitting a .148 as he takes an off-speed pitch outside. Righty on lefty matchup. Gex has a couple doubles, a home run, 4 RBIs to his credit. Opportunity for a 2-out RBI. With his Blue Sox ahead 1-0. Good play on the ball in the dirt by Combs. Moves the count to a ball to 2-0. Beg your pardon, ladies and gentlemen. Really calm day at Palm Springs Stadium. Pretty strong winds early in the day, but they have ceased. That ball's ripped in the right field. That's going to drop in for a base hit. Over to get it is Reese in the right center field alleyway. Coming across the score is Mitch Morales. RBI smoke show of a single from Aaron Gex.
Aaron Gex has had a great CWL season, Evan. He's a great defender, and he's been in the zone in that batter's box as of late here in the last week or so.
I got the start in the 5-hole, and he delivered. It's now 2-0 Blue Sox out of nowhere against the top-seeded Lumberjacks. It brings up Calvin Rucker. He takes a first pitch breaking ball a little low.
Evan, if you're the underdog in a playoff game, the first thing you need to do is establish a lead early on, and that's exactly what the Washington Blue Sox have been able to do here.
Slide step. That ball's foul-tipped at home plate, 1-1. And with McGee getting the start for the Blue Sox, I know it's a powerful Lumberjacks lineup. Life just got a lot more difficult for Oregon, trailing 2-0 out of the gate. Shortly to first from Gex, and that breaking ball's taken outside 2-1.
This is the playoffs, Evan. You have to earn it, so they're going to have to earn it against McGee. But a lot of game left here in the top of the first.
Rucker hitting .240 through the regular season. 3 doubles, 3 RBIs, and he takes a fastball inside 3-1. Dingus, who has shown good command throughout the entirety of the CWL season, struggling early. A hit batter and a walk to open the ball game. And the Blue Sox man pay. High bouncer to the third baseman Puglielli. A good strong throw across in time to get Rucker. That finally retires the side. But not before the Blue Sox able to put 2 runs on the board, taking advantage of a throwing error by Pamilia and Aaron Gex with a big-time RBI base knock. To the bottom half we go. Blue Sox with a 2-0 lead, and we'll see Trevor McGee toe the hill when we return. We're good to go for the bottom of the first on the CWL YouTube. We'll see the first swings coming up from the Lumberjacks. Trevor McGee toes the hill, getting the start for the Blue Sox. He has pitched in the Junior College World Series. He certainly has some big game experience. And he's been excellent all season. 1-2 record, 1.33 ERA. It'll be his 5th start, 26 strikeouts in 21 innings, only 4 walks. Truly an equalizer on the mound against a powerful lineup for a bottom-seeded team coming in. And he's well rested. Just a few days ago, he only went 2 innings against the North Stars. 1 hit allowed, no runs, 5 strikeouts, no walks. A well-rested ace could make life very difficult for the Lumberjacks.
Yeah, if you want to give
Reese
your...
will dig into the left-handed batter's box. We'll take a look at their lineup. Jeff Heinrich will follow Jalen Reese hitting second. Chris Monroe hits third. The catcher Scott Combs will bat cleanup. Andrew Puglielli will hit fifth. Devin McCary sixth. Shinichiro Ishida, the designated hitter, bats seventh, followed by Anthony Pamilia. Champ Garner will bat ninth to round out the Lumberjacks order. Lefty on lefty matchup. The first pitch from McGee. He gets a check swing from Reese. And the appeal to first, no swing. Says Roman Frecking in the field. Here's the 1-0 from McGee. And that fastball misses a little outside, 2-0. McGee trying to work a shutdown inning after his Blue Sox plated him 2 right out of the gate on Jared Dingus and company. McGee, the big tall lefty, out of the windup. And that one catches the outside corner, 2-1.
If you want to give your ball club an opportunity to win against these Oregon Lumberjacks, you cannot give any free passes.
Reese hitting .355 coming in, 4 doubles, 6 RBIs, but it comes up empty on a fastball. It evens the count 2-2.
And Evan, like you talked about, McGee's only walked 4 batters all season, so that's going to come big into play here.
And base on ball is a factor early. A hit batter and a walk to start the top of the first. Both those guys came around to score, or led to 2 runs. Soft, high bouncer to the right side. Rucker way off the first base bag to get it. And he flips to McGee covering, and it's wide. It goes towards the Blue Sox dugout.
Taylor Maldonado did a great job backing up that throw. He stopped it from potentially going out of play.
And that does go down as a base hit. All sorts of speed coming from Reese out of the left-handed batter's box. Would have been a tough play, even with a good throw to first. Also helps with McGee falling off towards the third base side of the mound, late getting over the first covering.
McGee cleaning himself up on the mound, full of dirt from head to toe.
Yeah, he kind of laid out to try to get it as the ball was thrown behind him.
Evan, I wouldn't be surprised at all to see Jalen Reese attempt a stolen base right here, try to get a man in scoring position to respond to that 2-spot put up by the Sox in the first.
Well, he's stolen 2 bags, and he has a pretty good lead. He does not go, and Jeff Heinrich takes a fastball right down the chute for strike 1. Heinrich hitting .226 this season. A couple doubles, only 2 RBIs. The Blue Sox looking to turn 2. Big hole on the right side. The first baseman Rucker keeping Reese close. Outfield playing fairly deep all the way around. Long looking from McGee. Slide steps the 0-1. Fouled into the screen, 0-2.
Jalen Reese only has 2 stolen bags in this CWL season. But out of that leadoff spot in an 0-2 count, we may see him get the green light here.
This is a Lumberjacks lineup that, with all the power, strikes out its fair share of times. 134 strikeouts in 15 games. That's certainly up there. McGee comes set, shorter lead from Reese at first. Here's the 0-2 with nobody out. Line foul down the right field line towards the batting cage. Pretty good swing from Heinrich, but a little late.
Evan, those numbers do typically go hand to hand. If you are a powerful, power-hitting club, those strikeout numbers are usually up there as well.
And you have a guy in McGee who he can light it up with the strikeouts. Guy who's tough to string hits together against. Another long look in, trying to keep Reese close. The 0-2, that one's lined in the left field. It'll drop in for a base hit. Good piece of hitting by Heinrich. Reese stopping at second base. And back-to-back singles to start the home first for the Lumberjacks. They're in business, trying to make up a 2-0 deficit.
Great at-bat for Jeff Heinrich. Getting behind in the count, 0-2, spoiling one pitch from McGee, and the very next one he sees, slapping it into left field for a single.
The Jacks will gladly take it. Trailing 2-0 in the bottom of the first, it brings up the first baseman, Chris Monroe. RBI opportunity for him. Monroe hitting an even .300 this season. 2 home runs, 7 RBIs. We've seen him flex some of that muscle in Palm Springs Stadium as he takes low ball 1. All 3 outfielders for the Blue Sox playing him pretty deep. Bloat in center field playing very, very far back. Same with Cross in left. McGee comes set. The second baseman, Morales, keeping the runner close. A big swing from Monroe. He lifts it into fairly deep left center field. Back goes Bloat towards the track, and he makes the catch as he bangs into the wall. Both runners will tag up and advance. Good base running from Reese and Heinrich. A long first out for Chris Monroe. Just got underneath it a bit.
That's why they were playing so deep, Evan. It was because of the power off the bat of Chris Monroe, who just got under it, like you said, missing a home run out in the deep part in left center field out there.
I certainly never denied the good reason for playing him so far back. That brings up the catcher, Scott Combs. He'll bat with men on second and third and 1 out. Reese at third, Heinrich at second. Both guys good athletes on the base paths. And a single should score 2 because all 3 outfielders are playing Combs very deep. He swings the first pitch and fouls it back into the screen. Combs hitting .310. He's been a singles hitter. No extra base hits to his credit, 5 RBIs. But right fielder Gex moves in just a few steps, so he's playing a bit more straight up depth. The flags are calm in center. No breeze to be found at the moment. McGee comes set after a long look in. He works out the stretch, and that fastball's down and away, 1-1.
McGee's looking for one thing right here and one thing only, and that is a strikeout with runners on second and third and only 1 away.
Lumberjacks with a 2 seed going into their final game of the regular season. They beat the Power, and the Chill also suffered a defeat. They got some help. They're the number 1 overall seed. But they stare down a 2-0 deficit right out of the gates. A curveball misses down and in.
Great stop from Maldonado getting in front of that ball. If that ball gets past them, it's a 2-1 ball game. Great stop.
The Jacks trying to cash in. McGee, not his usual sharp stuff out of the gates. This could be the time to get him. He comes set. The 2-1 with one out. Down and in once again, he tried a fastball. Just fighting himself at the moment. His pace is slowed down significantly as well. First base is open with Puglielli on deck. 3-1 count to the really consistent hitting Combs. The infield playing back. The Blue Sox will gladly concede a run, leading 2-0. Everyone all the way around is back on the infield. Here's the 3-1 from McGee. A curveball, that one catches the knees, 3-2. Trying to work his way back in the count. He would love a strikeout. Give him a chance to keep the Jacks off the board. Shutdown innings, very tough to come by all season long for the entire CWL. McGee's trying to do that right now. This Blue Sox giving him 2 runs out of the gate in the top of the first. The 3-2 pitch curveball. It's off the end of the bat in the right field. It's not deep. Gex comes in. Reese, he is going to tag and try to score. The throw comes in. It's not a strong one. Cut off by Rucker. Reese able to cross the plate, sacrifice fly, Scott Combs. And an important first run for the Lumberjacks. It's now 2-1 Blue Sox.
Great at bat from Scott Combs, not trying to do too much. Get a runner in who's on third base with less than 2 outs by hitting a fly ball out to the outfield. Great at bat from the cleanup hitter and the catcher for the Lumberjacks, Scott Combs.
Reed Lavalle in the third base coach's box made a good decision sending the speedy Reese. Not a strong throw from Gex. I thought it would be a much closer play. It brings up the 5-man Puglielli. Slightly open stance in the right-handed batter's box, and time is called at home plate.
Puglielli leads the Oregon Lumberjacks in RBIs, and he's tied for first in the CWL.
And he comes in hitting .425. Extremely consistent man in an RBI spot with Heinrich at second. That's a good fastball from McGee on the outside corner.
Yeah, he's searching for one here. If he's able to find the outfield grass, most likely can tie this ball game up right away, still in the first inning.
McGee also taking a long time between pitches. And it's not necessarily to hold the runner either. It's a short lead at second from Heinrich. The second baseman Morales keeping him close. And that one's fouled back into the screen. He works ahead of Puglielli 0-2. McGee has allowed 1 run, allowing the first 2 men of the inning to reach via base hit. An infield hit for Jalen Reese. Heinrich served the ball in the left field. Chris Monroe flew out to the warning track in left center field. Both runners tagged, and a sacrifice fly from Scott Combs a moment ago. A base hit should tie it. Heinrich is a good athlete at second base. Here's the 0-2 from McGee. Swung on and missed. Andrew Puglielli goes down on 3 pitches. McGee allows a run to come across for the Lumberjacks, but able to strand Heinrich at second base. We're through 1 full on the CWL YouTube. Blue Sox lead the Lumberjacks 2-1. We're back for the top of the second, CWL fans. Thank you again for joining us. I'm Evan Schmeiser, joined by Joey Senna, delivering you the action on day one of the CWL playoffs. Jared Dingus gets back to work for the Jacks after surrendering 2 runs in the first. Faces the bottom third of the order, and Alexander Ford takes a strike on the outer half. The designated hitter Ford in the left-handed batter's box. Very slightly open stance. He holds his hands way above his head. Kind of reminded me of Craig Counsell, and he foul tips that one into the glove of Combs. Behind 0-2.
Let's look at the defense real quick for Oregon. On the infield on the right side, we have Monroe at first, Heinrich at second. On the left side, Pomelia at short, Puglielli on the hot corner. Behind the plate is Combs. And from left to right out in the outfield, Garner, Reese, and McCary.
Ford takes a breaking ball that bounces in the dirt, 1-2 the count. Ford hitting .350 through the regular season. 1 triple, only a single RBI to his credit. Hard-hitting contact man. But he's behind 1-2. Dingus out of the windup. He deals, swung on and missed. Looked like it might have been a changeup. He picks up his first strikeout of the game. That could be very helpful. After allowing the first 2 men to reach in the first, he gets the first out in the second.
Dingus looks a lot more comfortable on that mound here in the second inning rather than back in the first inning when he hit a batter and walked a batter to start the ball game.
We'll see if he's able to take advantage of Blood in the 8th spot and Maldonado hitting 9. Both guys hitting below 200. A righty-on-righty matchup. First pitch is a breaking ball that dives outside. The speedy bloke gets the start in center field. It's been terrific out there all season, but hitting a .192 at the plate. No extra base hits, 2 RBIs. So he bats with 1 out and nobody on in the top of the second. Takes another breaking ball, and that one's a little outside. Bit of a higher leg kick from Bloat in the batter's box.
Evan, going back to that strikeout of Ford, that was the best sequencing we've seen so far from Jared Dingus. I know he's behind 2-0 here.
That ball's out to right field. It's not hit hard, but it drops in front of McCary, who has to play it on a hop. He got it off the end of the bat. Might have broken his bat, based on the sound of it. But the Blue Sox will take it. It's a 1-out base runner, their second hit of the day.
Evan, if we see another ground ball up the middle, I would expect Pomelia or Heinrich to take advantage of that this time.
Yeah, we did see in the first looked to be a tailor-made 6-3 double play ball. Ended up resulting in a throwing error from Pomelia, leading to the first run. That's towards the hole on the left side and through the hole. Base hit for Taylor Maldonado. Stopping at second is Bloat. And so much for Dingus trying to take advantage of an 8-9 hitter, and Bloat and Maldonado respectively hitting under 200. They both deliver back-to-back singles. As we flip to the top of the order, the Blue Sox could be back in business. Brings up James Cross. He was hit right in the leg on the very first pitch of the game. He eventually came around to score on a throwing error by Pomelia. The shortstop Pomelia, he was behind the runner at second for a moment. He goes back to his normal spot, and the first pitch is a breaking ball in there for a strike.
Dingus got the ground ball he wanted out of Maldonado. Taylor was just able to find the hole with that.
It certainly had eyes. Slide step. It's in the dirt. Gets away from Combs. Both runners will advance. Blowed up to third. Maldonado to second.
Evan, that's great base running we just saw from Killian Bloat and Taylor Maldonado. That ball didn't get that far away from Combs, but they went as soon as they saw that happen, and they took advantage.
We'll see how the Jacks play this. The corners will play even with the bag. The middle infielders will play back, looking to concede a run on the grounder. And it grounds back towards the middle. It's off the glove of Dingus. It kicks out to the shortstop Pomelia. Nowhere near in time on the throw to first. And a run scores. 3 consecutive softly hit balls going for base hits for the Blue Sox. It's an RBI single for James Cross, scoring Killian Bloat. Dingus almost able to flag that down. It kicked off his glove, and with way too much speed for Cross for Pomelia to do anything about it. Maldonado ended up staying at second on the play. So it's first and second, one out, 3-1 Blue Sox. And the first pitch curveball is way outside for ball one.
Well, if you're Washington, you couldn't have had a better start to this ball game. Getting 2 runs in the first and going right back to work on the offensive side in the second.
Really dangerous spot for the Jacks with McGee on the mound for the Blue Sox. That ball's hit hard in the right center field. Over is McCary, and he's able to settle under it to make the catch. Tagging and moving to third is Maldonado. He gets in there standing up. A loud out for Michael Bucchino. It's 2 outs with men on first and third. Brings up Mitch Morales. Reached on the fielder's choice and came around to score in the first. Chance for a 2-out base hit to make it a 4-1 ball game. That would make things really, really tough on the Jacks. It's a Lumberjacks team where statistically much more known for their lineup than their pitching staff.
Taylor Maldonado with great base running again. That's significant. He was able to get to third base. Now if a ball gets by Combs, they can steal another run.
Morales swings the first pitch and loops it foul out of play down the right field line just beyond the athletic trainer's tent.
Having a runner on third base rather than second is huge for the Blue Sox in this situation with 2 away.
Cross at first has stolen 4 bases this year, but a short lead, maybe 2 steps at most. Slides it from Dingus, and it's a breaking ball in the dirt. Good play by Combs to keep it around him. Maldonado at third, he's a pretty good athlete for a catcher. Saw his good base running just a moment ago, as Joey said, advancing to third on a line drive to right. Still a short lead from Cross. The 1 run from Dingus. Cross does not go. That ball's lined in the right center field. Over is Reese. He's not going to be able to get it. It splits the gap. Maldonado scores. Cross being waved around. He's trying to score from first to throw in. It's above everyone's head. Moving up to third is Morales. He gets in there without a throw. 2-run double Mitch Morales. It's now 5-1 Blue Sox in the top of the second. And the speed of Cross paying off. Able to score all the way from first.
What a statement from the Blue Sox early on in this game, letting Oregon know, sending a signal. You're going to have to earn it against us.
Alejandro Lara takes a breaking ball at the knees for a strike. He bounced out to Pamilia at short, his only at bat. He bats with Morales at third, advancing on a throwing error by the second baseman Heinrich. Airmailed his relay throw to the plate. That might have been over everyone's head by about 4 feet at least. Talk about punching the number 1 seed in the mouth early. 5-1 Blue Sox. Swung on and popped way up in the air to the right side on the infield. Monroe back. Heinrich makes the call, and he makes the catch a few steps in fair territory by the right field foul line. That finally retires the side, but not before the Blue Sox. Able to strike back and put 3 more runs on the board. The big blow. Mitch Morales, 2-run, 2 RBI double into the right center field alleyway. Blue Sox dominating early, up 5-1 over the Lumberjacks. 6, 7, 8 coming up for the Jacks. It's Devin McCary, Shinichiro Ishida, and Anthony Pamilia. And they're staring down some major trouble, trailing 5-1 to the Washington Bluesox, who came in today 4-11. 2 runs for the Bluesox in the first, 3 more a moment ago in the second. So McCary takes a fastball in the inside corner for strike 1. That's got to feel good if you're Trevor McGee. He was not particularly sharp in the first inning, allowing the first 2 men to reach via base hits, battling behind the count a few times as that fastball's in the dirt 1-1. Only allowed 1 run on the sacrifice fly from Scott Combs. McCary hitting .280 during the regular season, 1 double, 4 RBIs. He works ahead 2-1 in the count. That fastball missing high.
Well, Evan, we can talk about the regular seasons these 2 ball clubs had, but once the playoffs start, you get a fresh, clean slate, and you just need a little bit of energy and belief in one another, and the sky's the limit.
We're seeing that now as that one's looped out of play into the stands, giving a few CWL faithfuls a little scare. A nice round of applause for the fan who picked up that ball. Evens the count 2-2. McGee trying to work a shutdown inning, not able to do so in the first. That ball's lined back into the screen once again. Pretty good at bat from McCary to try and get things started. And Joe, you mentioned it a moment ago. It's a whole new season when the postseason rolling around. And the Blue Sox look like the 1 seed early, as opposed to the Jacks.
Being a Dodgers fan, Evan, I unfortunately understand that the hard way.
Yes. As a Phillies fan, I know what it's like being an underdog. It's that breaking ball misses high and inside, 3-2.
No one else has to believe in you. Your clubhouse just needs to believe in themselves. And if they believe in themselves, well, everyone else take notice.
And in a situation where 3 consecutive wins gives you the title, anything can happen, especially when you have a horse in McGee to start game 1. Here's the 3-2 of the windup. Hit foul again to the right side by McCary. That one beyond the bleachers.
Great at bat by McCary, fouling off multiple pitches, trying to get McGee to throw as many pitches as possible to get that pitch count as high as you can early on in the ball game.
And that's got to be the approach if you're the Jacks. Try to chip into this deficit, work McGee's pitch count up, and get into the bullpen.
Absolutely.
He's certainly stretched out. After the home plate umpire, Eric Benavides, got some new baseballs. McGee set with a 3-2, fouled into the screen once again. Terrific at bat from Devin McCary.
We saw in game 1, the first game of the playoffs here at the stadium, both clubs, the Chill and the Power, were riding their starters and their aces for as long as they possibly could. So I believe we're going to see the same out of Trevor McGee.
McGee set, about to deal the 11th pitch of this at-bat. And he kicks and deals. Swung on and missed. It took 11 pitches, but McCary goes down on strikes to start the second.
McGee wins the battle against McCary in what was a very, very fun matchup to watch. We'll have to circle McCary for the next time around to watch the next at-bat between those 2.
Granted, that really does put a dent in McGee's pitch count. Trying to work a shutdown bottom of the second. His Blue Sox lead the Lumberjacks 5-1. Lefty on lefty matchup. Shinichiro Ishida takes outside for ball 1. One out and nobody on base. Blue Sox also able to take advantage of a couple Lumberjacks errors. Things we're not used to seeing from a normally sure-handed infield. As that's outside 2-0 the count to Ishida. Comes in hitting .273, a double and 4 RBIs to his credit. Longer looking from McGee. He's set out of the windup, outside 3-0. I would think we'll see a take all the way from Ishida. Continues to wave the bat as he's set for the 3-0 pitch. He does take all the way, and it's on the outside corner for a strike. Still the hitter's advantage. Lefty on lefty matchup. Ishida trying to get on with one out. That's way outside ball 4. It gets away from Maldonado, but he'll be able to track it down. First walk issued by McGee. It gives the Lumberjacks a one-out base runner. As Anthony Pamilia will get set for his first at bat, we'll take a look at the Blue Sox defensively. Starting in the infield from third to first, it's Alejandro Lara, Michael Buchina at shortstop. Mitch Morales gets to start second. Calvin Rucker plays first. And the outfield, left to right field, James Cross in left, Killian Bloat manning the center field spot, Aaron Gex rounding out the outfield, Taylor Maldonado behind the plate, and of course Trevor McGee on the mound getting the start. Short lead at first from Ishida. The first pitch is in the dirt to Anthony Pamilia. Good play by Maldonado to keep it around home plate. Pamilia hitting .206 through the regular season. 1 double, 3 RBIs. Be surprised if we see Ishida take off. Trying to manufacture base runners. He's been caught stealing once in his only attempt. Last thing we'll just make it down the base. That ball scorched in the right center field. That gets down for a base hit. Aaron Gex took a bad route to the ball. Gets past him, rolls towards the warning track. Ishida being waved around third. He's going to come in to score. The throw home is way late. Ishida slides in safely, scoring all the way from first on a double by Pamilia. Taking advantage of a very poor route for Gex trying to go after that as it scooted right on by him. It's now 5-2 Washington Blue Sox. And for the second consecutive inning, McGee not able to retire the side and keep the Jacks off the board.
Shinichiro Ishida, scoring from first base, had a great read on that ball. He saw it going in the gap in right center field, and he turned his wheels on.
Champ Gardner will dig in. One heck of a guy to put in the 9th spot, hitting .346. 2 doubles, 5 RBIs. Lefty on righty matchup, the first pitch is high. Pamilia over at second base. The second double of the season. Only one out, an opportunity for the Lumberjacks to cut the Blue Sox lead in half and make it a 5-3 game. Timeout is called at home plate.
Well, Evan, this is quite the opposite game that we saw in Game 1 at the stadium. 1-1 going into extra innings, ending in the 9th inning, and an exciting ball game there. And this is an exciting ball game, too, just looking a little bit different with all these hits and runs on the board early on.
That 1-0 is on the inside corner, 1-1. Gardner did not agree with that. I think the winner of this game plays the Chill, who just walked off the power a moment ago.
For the second time this season walking off against the power.
The second baseman Morales pinched to the bag, keeping Pamilia close. The 1-1 from McGee. Slider, and that's low, 2-1. Maldonado keeps it around home plate. McGee just doesn't have his best stuff right now. We're seeing more good swings from the Jacks lineup than we're used to seeing against him.
Sometimes that happens when you're the ace. You don't have your ace stuff, but you just need to grind out and give your team the best possible performance possible.
All sorts of room in right center field, but the center fielder Bloat shaded to left. A swing and a miss from Garner. A good breaking ball. Rode it down and in towards his back foot.
Yep, McGee trying to dig a little bit deeper.
The Blue Sox outfield playing deep all the way around. Bloat in center, especially deep. Pamilia is dancing all over the place at second. That forces McGee to step off. You're hearing the step-off shouts from the Blue Sox dugout. Seems like he's labored. McGee has his entire time on the mound. A lot of time between pitches. One look at the runner. A curveball, it's fouled straight back. Gardner able to stay alive. And a lot of high-pressure pitches from McGee early.
And those stack up, Evan. Those high-stress innings in the 5th, 6th innings sometimes cut your outing short by a whole inning or maybe even an inning and a half.
That is part of the goal for the Jacks. Get McGee out of the way as soon as possible. Pamelia continues to dance at second. McGee deals a 2-2. It's on the ground. Bucchino towards Olaghetti. Goes to third. Safe is the call at third base. Pamelia took a chance trying to advance on that ground ball. That was to his right. Normally you don't do that when you're on second base. But he has good speed. The ball wasn't hit particularly hard. A break for the Lumberjacks that puts men on first and third with one out.
Evan, Bucchino had a chance to get Pamelia at third base, but the throw was just too high. It was not a force play, so Lara at third base had to tag Pamelia to get the out, and the throw was just too high from Bucchino. If that was a better throw, he would have been out at third.
5-2 Bluesox over the Jacks in the bottom of the second. First and third, one out for the leadoff man, Jalen Reese. Takes a first pitch slider way outside. Lefty on lefty matchup. Reese had an infield hit over towards first base in his only at bat. He eventually came around to score the lone run of the first inning. We're going to have a meeting on the mound. Here comes the Blue Sox manager, Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah, this is a good meeting on the mound. They're going to talk about what they're going to do defensively if Champ Gardner steals a bag or attempts to steal a bag. Are they going to throw down to try to get the out, or are they going to throw maybe to the pitcher, or is Maldonado just going to eat it and try to keep Pamelia at third and let Gardner have second?
Gardner is a good athlete over at first. He's only attempted one stolen base. He was caught in that effort. The entire infield came in for the Blue Sox during that mound visit. It looked like only Maldonado, the catcher, was going to go out. Then Rucker came in from first, followed by Lara at third, and then the two middle infielders go, well, now we got to go in now.
Well, the stakes are high, Evan. You need to all be on the same page on the infield.
Curious to see what Maldonado does if Gardner takes off from first. Good chance they talked about that on the mound. Maldonado did not get up in front of home plate to give infield signs. 1-0 the count to Reese, lefty on lefty matchup. Gardner does not go, and it's a fastball taken for a strike on the outer half. The Blue Sox set up to turn two, leading 5-2, with Morales and Bucchino up the middle. Rucker holding on Gardner at first, and Lara at third. He's playing a few steps beyond the third base bag. Also playing way off the line with the lefty up. And a check on the runner. Soft toss to first from McGee. Definitely not his A move. Now Gardner inches off even further off the first base bag. He's a good 4 steps off now. See if he takes off. A long look from McGee, who now comes set. He goes home. That's off the end of the bat. Foul out of play to the left side. Could have been close to one of our cars, Joey.
I parked as far away as I possibly could in that parking lot and underneath the tree, hoping for the best.
You're pretty good about that. I continue to roll the dice, not parking very far away from the entrance. 1-2 the count to Reese. First and third, one out. The Jacks trailing 5-2 to the fourth-seeded Blue Sox, and that's way outside 2-2. McGee just, it's been a struggle this entire first inning and the third to try and get comfortable. We've seen several good swings from the Lumberjacks, already 3 hits in the second. But he is staked to a pretty good lead, 5-2. 2-2 the count. A couple checks on Gardner first, and now McGee steps off. Really uncharacteristic at the moment from McGee. He comes set once again. And here's the 2-2. Way outside again, 3-2. It's been missing in a similar spot like that to a lot of these left-handed batters, just almost a foot off of the outer half. Now he's in danger of loading the bases. 3-2 the count to Reese. Pamelia looming at third and Gardner at first. We'll see if Gardner takes off. He does not go. The 3-2 pitch is down and outside, ball 4. The bases are now loaded for the Oregon Lumberjacks. Second walk of the inning issued by McGee. And here come the Jacks. It brings up Jeff Heinrich, who singled his only at bat in the first. One run has already come across in the bottom of the second for the Lumberjacks. Shinichiro Ishida scored all the way from first on a double in the right center from Pamelia. Pamelia still looms at third. Garner at second, Reese at first. Lefty on righty matchup, and Heinrich foul tips the first pitch into the glove of Maldonado.
Great job from Trevor McGee, pounding that strike zone early on, getting a first pitch strike when the bases are loaded. That's huge. Work ahead as best you can here with the bases loaded and only one away, holding on to a 3-run lead.
McGee comes set after an extremely long look-in, getting his signs from Maldonado. That ball's lined out to center field, over towards the right center field alleyway. Bloat makes the catch coming in. Tagging is Pamelia. The throw home is cut off by Rucker, who's standing on the pitcher's mound. Sacrifice fly for Jeff Heinrich. It's now a 5-3 lead for the Blue Sox. Way too much speed with Pamelia coming across the score. Gardner ends up staying at second base, so it's first and second with 2 outs.
Yeah, nice job by Rucker, the first baseman, who cut that ball off, and that's what kept Gardner and Reese at first and second.
It brings up the slugging Chris Monroe, who flew out to the wall in left center his first at bat. His Jacks trailing 5-3, and the first pitch is a high fastball, but Monroe chases. Might have been thinking about making it a 6-5 ball game.
Well, he does have a couple home runs this season. Leads the Lumberjacks in home runs with 2.
0-1 the count, 2 outs in the bottom of the second. Lumberjacks able to answer back. 2 runs of their own. So that fastball's at the knee, strike 2 to Monroe. McGee trying to find his best stuff in a day where he's had a tougher go of it. Allowing a run in the first, 2 more at the moment in the bottom of the second. His Blue Sox still in front 5-3 over the number 1 overall seed Lumberjacks. And that's at the knees for a called strike 3. Home plate umpire might have forgotten the count for just a moment, but that finally retires the side. We're through 2 full at Palm Springs Stadium. The Lumberjacks able to strike back, putting 2 runs on the board. The big blow, the Anthony Pamelia RBI double to get the rally started. On the CWL YouTube channel, at the moment, it's the 4th-seeded Blue Sox on top of the number 1 Lumberjacks 5-3.
We head into the top of the third inning. The Blue Sox with the 5-3 lead in a win-or-go-home game here in the first round of the playoffs. I'm Joey Senna, and to my right is Evan Smizer. 5, 6, 7 hitters due up for the Blue Sox. Aaron Gex, Calvin Rucker, and Alexander Ford. Gex fouls this back, out of play. Aaron Gex had an RBI single his first time up back in the first inning. If you're just joining us, the Blue Sox took a 2-0 lead in the top of the first. The Oregon Lumberjacks scratched one run back in the bottom of the first to make it 2-1. And in the top of the second, the Blue Sox were able to tack on 3 more runs to take a 5-1 lead, and the Lumberjacks responded with 2 runs of their own in the bottom of the second. And that's where we are, 5-3 Washington lead. 3 balls and 1 strike to Aaron Gex. Lifts this ball into center field, a mile high. Jalen Reese coming in, shallow center field, and he'll settle under it. 1 up and 1 down for Jared Dingus to start the third inning, who's looking for his first clean inning, first 0 he's looking for to put up on the board.
Now we're seeing our share of crooked numbers already, only with 2 full innings in the book. And polar opposite of our first game between the Power and the Chill. And that game, it basically came down to who was able to open the floodgates. Now this might come down to which pitcher can restore order first.
First pitch from Dingus, way outside, to Calvin Rucker, who grounded out to third in his only at-bat in the first inning. Rucker's out of Florida, just 23 years old, big guy, first baseman. Takes ball 2 upstairs. 6'5", 225. He also plays right field, but we've seen him mainly at first base for Washington. Awaits the 2-0. Just below the knees, 3 balls and no strikes. Rucker way ahead.
Looked like Eric Benavidez kind of flinched, thinking about calling that a strike.
I paused a second, too, to see what it was going to be. The 3-0 on the inner part of the zone, strike 1. The 3-1 is hit on the right side, takes a weird hop on Monroe, the first baseman, and that'll be a 1-out single for Calvin Rucker.
Oh, and at the moment, even the infield grass wants this to be a hitter's game. That was going to be a tailor-made ground ball to Chris Monroe. Then all of a sudden, a crazy Wrigley Field caliber hop going right over his head.
It surely was. So it brings up the designated hitter, Alexander Ford, who struck out swinging in the second inning. He'll have an opportunity with Rucker on first and 1 away. Takes high and outside for ball 1. Ford fouls this just behind home plate on the right side. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 runner on, and 1 away for the number 7 hitter.
And if you're Dingus, you're going to have to record a shutdown inning.
That's outside for Dingus. 2 balls and a strike. This is the second time these two teams are playing each other this season. They played on the 1st of February when Oregon won 3-2. Roger Motley III starts warming up a little bit, or stretching, I'd say, in the Oregon bullpen. That's fouled. 2 balls and 2 strikes now to Alexander Ford.
Well, Joey, this is certainly going to be a game where both teams will have to rely on their bullpens. Hard to say how long Dingus will be going for, but even with McGee, his pitch count's been up there. He's worked several long at-bats.
The 2-2, a line drive to Pomelia at short, but Rucker gets back to first base in time. So 2 away for Dingus, who's looking for his first 0 of the ball game.
Well, sometimes the game giveth, sometimes the game taketh away. A moment ago, we saw Rucker reached via base hit on a ground ball that bounced right over the head of Monroe, and we saw a laser off the bat of Ford right to Pamelia at short.
Brings up the center fielder, Killian Blow, who singled and scored the last inning in the second. That was a part of the 3-run second inning the Blue Sox were able to put together. They have a 5-3 lead here in the top of the third. Dingus deals in the dirt. Combs keeps it in front of him, but Rucker goes to second base, and he'll make it in time. Great base running from the first baseman, Calvin Rucker.
Couldn't put it any better right there, Joey. You have a guy in Rucker, he's not known for having blazing speed, but when you get a good secondary and you get a good read on the ball, then you can still be an excellent base runner. That's what we just saw by Rucker.
Yep. You don't have to be the fastest guy in the world, but just be paying attention out there, have great secondary leads, and give yourself an opportunity. Broken bat, a Heinrich diving stop to keep it in the infield. So he'll knock it down to keep Rucker from scoring. So that's a big play. Even though it wasn't an out, he still kept Rucker from scoring on that play.
That was sensational by Heinrich at second base. He already is a guy with long arms. You talk about full extension. It took every part of his body for him to keep that ball on the infield, and it certainly saved a run. Even with Rucker not having great speed, he would have easily come around if that ball scooted past Heinrich.
So runners on the corners for the Blue Sox with the 5-3 lead here in the top of the third. The number 9 hitter, Taylor Maldonado, digs in. Takes ball one in the dirt. Nice stop from Combs behind the plate. Last time Maldonado was up, he singled and scored. That was back in the second inning. Maldonado, out of Stockton, California, just 23 years old, is a catcher. Takes a 1-0 outside. Maldonado played the last 2 seasons at Bluefield University, hitting a career .305.
And with a good hitter's count, I expect to see a really good swing at a fastball from Maldonado.
Combs throws behind to first base, but not in time to get Killian Blow, who dove back head first, getting his blue jersey all dirty from the top to the bottom and his white pants.
That was almost a disastrous base running mistake. It looked like Blow started and then stopped trying to steal second base, and he nearly got caught in the middle.
Dingus gets ready on the 2-1, ground ball to third base. A nice play by Puglielli to put a glove on it and delivers across the diamond in time. Jared Dingus puts up his first 0 of the ball game as we head to the home half of the third inning. The Lumberjacks trail 5-3. We'll be right back. We head to the bottom of the third inning from Palm Springs Stadium. I'm Joey Senna, and to my right is Evan Smizer. Thank you for joining us on the CWL YouTube channel for playoff baseball. We have 4, 5, 6 hitters due up: Scott Combs, Andrew Puglielli, and Devin McCary. As Trevor McGee gets back to work, strike one on the outside corner. Last time up, Combs hit a sacrifice fly that scored Jalen Reese back in the first inning. 5-3, Washington leads. 0-1 is fouled on the right side. No one will get there. McGee ahead, 0-2 of Combs.
Well, Joey, we saw Dingus finally deliver a scoreless inning a moment ago in the top half of the third. All eyes turn to Trevor McGee once again. Uncharacteristic, allowing runs in both of the first 2 innings. He's going to have to answer back with Dingus' scoreless inning if he wants to keep his Blue Sox ahead.
Working from the windup, and that's high and outside to Combs. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Combs is one of 6 Lumberjacks hitters hitting over 300 in this CWL season. Combs is sitting right at 310 in 30 at-bats. The 1-2 is chopped on the left side. Lara, the third baseman, charging, throwing over. In time, it took Rucker off the bag, but he was able to get back to the bag before Scott Combs for 1 out.
Boy, we've seen some really good infield defense so far. We saw already with Heinrich and Pamilia flashing the leather to end the third inning. Excellent play by Lara right there. That's really difficult. He came charging way in. That makes a really tough angle to throw on the run to first, but a near-perfect delivery from Lara.
Yeah, almost a swinging bunt. Lara had to charge it heavy, and he did a great job. First pitch swinging is Andrew Puglielli. He lifts this to center field, and Killian Blow tracks it down. So 2 up and 2 down for Trevor McGee here in the bottom of the third. He's looking for his first 0, like we just saw, out of Jared Dingus.
And it's a good start. 2 pretty comfortable-looking outs in the middle of the order for McGee. His fastball looks crisp this inning. Maybe he's finally feeling like more of himself.
Devin McCary steps in from the right side. He struck out swinging in his only plate appearance last inning in the second. 5-3, Sox lead. Here in the bottom of the third, the 1-0 swung on and missed by McCary. That'll even up the count. 1 ball and 1 strike. We have more playoff baseball for you. The rest of this weekend, Friday, Saturday, and the championship game will be at noon. Or is it noon or 12:30, Evan?
It's noon. It's
right.
noon. I can guarantee that.
12 o'clock p.m. Pacific time. You will not want to miss the championship game on Sunday.
And it's a 9-inning affair, in case anyone was curious. We'll be going the distance in the finale.
Our first game was a 9-inning affair as well, but that one went into extras after 7. The Chill walked off the power for the second time this season in an exciting first playoff game. A 1-2-3 inning, the first 0 put up by Trevor McGee as he strikes out Devin McCary. We head to the top of the fourth, the Sox, 5-3. We begin the top of the 4th inning. Top of the lineup due up for the Bluesox, who are currently holding on to a 5-3 lead. Rough starts from Dingus and McGee, but they settled down, putting up their first zeros in the 3rd inning. First pitch fouled off by James Cross, who has reached in both of his plate appearances. He was hit by a pitch and scored back in the 1st, and he had an RBI single and came around to score in the 2nd. Takes outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. I'm Joey Senna, and to my right is Evan Smizer. Thank you for joining us for playoff baseball. Win or go home between the Lumberjacks and the Sox. Cross his way out in front of it for strike number 2. Time is called. There was a ball that got away from the Lumberjacks bullpen, so we'll take a quick timeout.
Speaking of the Lumberjacks bullpen, Roger Malley III continues to throw in there. I assume he's pretty juiced up, so you have to wonder, what kind of leash is Reed LaValle going to give Dingus on the mound?
The 1-2 swung on and missed. James Cross strikes out swinging. That'll bring up the shortstop, Michael Bucchino, who is 0 for 1. He walked in the 1st inning and lined out to right in the 2nd. Hold bat here in the top of the 4th. The Sox leading 5-3. Nobody on. Ball in the dirt. A nice stop from Combs.
This will be a big test for Dingus, going through the top of the order for a 3rd time. So we've seen the Blue Sox get their share of good swings against him.
Way outside from Dingus, ball 2. Bucchino is one of 5 Blue Sox hitters hitting over 300. Bucchino's at 313. He's 10 for 33. Inside, just a tad. 3 balls and no strikes. Jared Dingus way behind. Strike 1 on the outside corner to Bucchino.
Looked like Bucchino was taking all the way on that 3-0 pitch. We've already seen a bit more of that, taking all the way 3-0 now that we've reached the postseason.
3-1 is chopped up the middle. The second baseman, Heinrich, tries to barehand it, unable to get the speedy Bucchino on the infield single.
It was a valiant effort for Heinrich to come in and try to barehand it. That's the only chance he would have had to get Bucchino, who, even for a big guy, runs pretty well, and he was busting it up the line. Last thing you want if you're Dingus, you make a good pitch and you get the high bouncer, but it's still a line drive in the books.
So Michael Bucchino on first base. He is a threat to steal a bag.
Well, that's putting it lightly. He's still on 13 bases
on the season. Chopper to the shortstop, Pomeli, who goes to second. 6-4-3. Double play for Jared Dingus to get out of this 4th inning, putting up another 0. We head to the home 4th. 5-3, the Blue Sox lead. We head to the home half of the fourth inning. I'm Joey Senna, and to my right is Evan Smizer. Thank you for joining us for playoff baseball. 5-3, Washington leads. Trevor McGee gets back to work facing the lefty Shinichiro Ishida, who walked and scored in his only plate appearance back in the second inning. Ahead 1-0. He gets hit by a pitch. Nope, inside.
Looked like Ishida was trying to hang in there as best he could to see if that ball would hit him, but not quite.
The 2-0 way outside. Ishida way ahead.
Well, we had Ishida in his first appearance in the second work ahead 3-0. We saw him take a strike then. I think he'll do the same thing now.
Yeah, I would expect a red light here on 3-0. Taken all the way. Second walk of the ball game issued to Ishida. Big moment in the game, letting the leadoff man reach on a free pass. Bottom of the lineup due up for Oregon. Anthony Pomelia steps in and Champ Gardner on deck. 8 and 9 hitters. Last time up, Pomelia had a big hit. He had an RBI double, and then he came around to score after that. High fastball. Pomelia takes it for ball one.
We saw McGee just an inning ago work a really quick and clean 1-2-3, but now he has to deal with a base runner again. He has to work out of the stretch, and he'll have to put up some more zeros in order for his Blue Sox to hang on.
Nobody up in the bullpen for the Sox. It is all McGee as of right now. Strike one on the outside corner. Pomelia hit .206 during the regular season. He was 7 for 34. Awaits the 1-1. Inside corner at the knees, strike two.
And for Pomelia, see if he can extend this at bat. Try and hit some pitches foul. We've seen that from a few Lumberjacks hitters to drive McGee's pitch count up.
McGee looks in, gets the sign from Maldonado behind home. Checks the runner at first and Ishida. Throws home, fouled off on the right side, out of play. Pomelia spoils that, and he'll see another one.
If you're McGee, you want to try and bury that curveball down and in, almost towards the back foot of the right-handed batter. He left that one up, and it got a lot of the plate. If anything, he got away with one with Pomelia only hitting that foul.
We've seen the Oregon Lumberjacks make McGee throw as many pitches as they can, fouling off pitches left and right. Putting some good at-bats together. Rising that pitch count for McGee. That's way outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 5-3 ball game here in the bottom of the fourth. Win or go home. McGee looks in, gets set from the stretch. Ishida not a huge lead at first, delivers home, hit to the third baseman, Lara, trying to go around the horn, and that's good for a 5-4-3 double play. Exactly what Trevor McGee and the Blue Sox were looking for, to erase the runners on the base paths for the number 9 hitter, Champ Gardner.
Lara's had an excellent day over at third. We saw just a moment ago, or about an inning or two ago, able to make a good play, charging in on the ground ball. He had Pomelia play perfectly, shaded towards the line, and that was a quick initial turn.
Nobody on for the number 9 hitter, who takes around the knees, strike one from McGee. The Blue Sox have 8 hits and 5 runs. The Lumberjacks with 3 hits and 3 runs. The Lumberjacks also have 2 errors that contributed to a couple runs for the Washington Blue Sox. 0-2 way outside for ball one. Last time up, Gardner hit into a fielder's choice in the second inning. He's 0 for 1. Awaits the 1-2, swung on and fouled as he throws his bat. Luckily, the foul ball or the bat misses everyone around him. The fans in the stands and his teammates in front of the dugout. He'll get some pine tar, get some better grip on that bat, and he'll step back in a 1-2 count.
Small miracle that Gardner was able to hit that one foul. You're not usually when you see a guy let go of his bat, he comes up empty on the pitch.
The 1-2 swung on and missed. Thanks to the double play ball by Anthony Pomelia, Trevor McGee faces the minimum. We head to the top of the fifth. The Blue Sox still lead 5-3. We head to the top of the fifth. The Blue Sox lead 5-3. Middle of the lineup due up for the Sox. 4, 5, and 6 hitters, Lara, Gex, and Rucker. Both managers for the Blue Sox, Jimmy J.J. Johnson, and for the Lumberjacks, Reed Lavallee, riding their starting pitchers for as long as they possibly can here in a must-win game.
Well, you have to give credit to both Dingus and McGee, respectively. After getting hit around and not having their best command through the first 2 full innings, they've put up 4 consecutive zeros, and they've really settled in.
1-1 on the inside corner to Lara. Strike 2. Lara's 0 for 2. He grounded out to short in the first, and he flew out to right back in the second. Awaits the 1-2, and that's inside, and hits Lara, and also gets a piece of Combs behind home plate. So we'll take a minute as the leadoff man reaches for the Sox as they look to extend their 5-3 lead. And we may have a pitching change as well. Reed Lavallee going out to talk to Dingus. And Motley is lingering. And Lavallee takes the ball from Dingus. So we'll be right back after the pitching change. Welcome back to historic Palm Springs Stadium. I'm Joey Senna, and to my right is Evan Smizer. Roger Motley III takes over for Jared Dingus here in the 5th inning. The final line for Dingus is 4+ innings, giving up 8 hits, 5 runs, only 4 of them earned. He walked 1 batter. He struck out 2 and hit 2 batters as well. First pitch from Motley outside to the number 5 hitter, Aaron Gex, who had an RBI single back in the 1st and flew out to center field in his last at-bat in the 3rd. Lara, after being hit by a pitch, is at first base.
It's obviously not the start that Dingus won, especially just the way he got hit around those first 2 innings. He really battled, though. He put his team in a decent position to win, only trailing by 2 at the moment.
Motley has pitched 13 in the 3rd innings, and he has 14 strikeouts, averaging a strikeout per frame. He walks the first batter he faces in Aaron Gex. The Bluesox looking for insurance here, leading 5-3 in the top of the 5th.
That's not what you want to see at all if you're manager Reed Lavalle. The guy you bring in, walking the first batter he faces on 4 pitches. It's been an opportunistic Blue Sox team today as well.
Brings up the big right-handed hitter, Calvin Rucker, who singled his last time up in the 3rd and grounded to short in the 1st. He's 1 for 2. We'll have an opportunity with runners on 1st and 2nd. Way inside, he's ahead of Motley, 2-0.
If I'm Combs, I might think about going out and talking to Motley. He's missed with each of his first 6 pitches. He is a guy coming in, a guy you need to keep an eye on with his walks. 9 of them coming in 13 and a 3rd during the regular season.
The 2-0 is way high for ball 3. Motley coming in with an 0-1 record, and his ERA sitting at 5.25. Rucker taking on that. Strike 1, 3 balls and 1 strike. Rucker finished the regular season hitting .240. He had 3 RBIs on the season. Looking for another one here. Ground ball to the shortstop, Pomelia, who throws a long throw over to first in time to get Rucker. Lara advances to 3rd and Gex to 2nd. So runners on 2nd and 3rd for Alexander Ford.
And that's a break for the Blue Sox. That bobble by Pomelia at short took away any chance of a double play or even trying to get the middleman at second base. And rightfully so, with Motley missing on each of his first 7 pitches, in danger of loading the bases with 1 out. We do get action in the Lumberjacks bullpen once again. I was just starting to think that he might have to get somebody up.
Robbie Carling will bat for Alexander Ford in the 7th spot, which is the designated hitting spot. Carling, the 0-1. Hits it foul down the left field line. 0-2. Motley ahead.
That was a missile off the bat of Carling. It forced Lara to end up ducking in foul territory at 3rd.
Carling hitting .231. Hitting for the first time in this playoff game. Motley looks in. The 1-2. The infield in on the grass. Check swing. He did not swing, so it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Breaking ball in, hit to the shortstop, Pomelia, and the runners are stuck on 2nd and between 2nd and 3rd. Lara in a rundown, high throw. Motley has the throw, who's now in the play. The pitcher tags out Lara. Heads up play by Pomelia and the infield defense for the Lumberjacks.
Yeah, that was just a very poor base running play all the way around. I'm surprised that Gex didn't try and advance home right away on the ball out to shortstop. I know he doesn't have great speed. And then you get Lara starting at second. You assume Gex is going to go, and then you get into a rundown. You have 2 men at third base. Good job by Carlin to advance into second. That was a long rundown from the Jacks infield.
Yeah, it was an interesting play there because Gex, the runner that was on second base, was trying to advance to third, so that put Lara in an interesting spot. Lara had to go home because Gex was behind him, and that's what caused that rundown.
Well, Pamelia almost threw across the diamond at short, and he may not have gotten anybody out then.
Way inside to Killian Bloat, the center fielder for the Sox, who is 2 for 2 with 1 run scored. He has 2 singles out of the number 8 spot for Washington. Motley looks in, working from the windup with runners on second. Side corner, strike 1 as Bloat was about ready to head to first base. He'll have to step back in. 5-3 Washington leads, but they are threatening here in the top of the 5th. Aaron Gex on third and Robbie Carling at second. That's fouled out of play. Motley working back into the count, which is now full. If we get to him, Taylor Maldonado, the catcher, on deck, who is 1 for 2. Motley and Oregon looking to escape this 5th inning without allowing any damage. 3-2 is fouled back. Once again, Bloat spoils that pitch from Motley the third. The Bluesox, the underdogs, heading into this first round of the playoffs against the Oregon Lumberjacks, but they currently hold on to a 5-3 lead. Here comes Motley home. The 3-2 lined, a short line drive to Pomelia at short. So another 0 put up on the board for Oregon. We head to the home half of the 5th. The Bluesox with the 5-3 lead. We head to the bottom of the 5th inning. Top of the lineup due up for the Oregon Lumberjacks as they trail 5-3. Trevor McGee gets back to work for Washington. Coming into this 5th inning, he has pitched 77 pitches so far. Here comes pitch 78 outside to the leadoff man, Jalen Reese, who is 1 for 1. He singled and scored in the first, walked in the second. Lefty on lefty matchup. Fouled back towards the third base concession stand.
The Lumberjacks have to get something going in the fifth. It might take one, maybe two. If you get one good inning for the Lumberjacks with base runners, maybe you drive that pitch count McGee up. I mean, they have some action going on right now, but maybe you can get them out of the game.
0-1 on the outside corner, 0-2 to Jalen Reese. Up in the bullpen for Washington is number 14, Jacob Roybal. McGee with the 0-2, and that's outside and low. Jalen Reese is third in batting average on the Lumberjacks, hitting .355 in the regular season. That's off the end of the bat. McGee looks in, who gets the sign from Maldonado. Working from the windup, the 2-2. Swung on and missed. A strikeout for McGee to start the fifth inning.
McGee's looking a lot more like himself. I mean, his fastball, if anything, has improved as the outing has worn on. And since he's been able to work ahead with his fastball, then he goes with the devastating curveball. And even mixing in the changeup once in a while, both those off-speed pitches have been really effective against this right-handed heavy lineup.
Brings up a right-handed hitter in Jeff Heinrich, who swings at the first pitch down the right field line, bending foul beyond the trainer's tent. Heinrich singled in the first, hit a sacrifice fly in the second. The 0-1, just low for ball one. If you're just joining us, we had a lot of action early on in this game. 5 runs scored by Washington in the first 2 innings, and 3 runs scored by the Lumberjacks in the first 2 innings. And that's where we are right now. Zeros in the middle innings. We're in the bottom of the 5th. The Blue Sox with the 5-3 lead. Jeff Heinrich awaits the 1-1 from McGee. That's way outside. Pardon me, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Perhaps the last inning for McGee with Roybal in the pen. 2-2 upstairs. Full count. Nobody on and 1 away in the bottom of the 5th.
This needs to be an aggressive challenge fastball from McGee. You do not want to walk Heinrich and bring Chris Monroe to the plate representing the tying run.
The 3-2, low and in the dirt. A walk issued to Heinrich, and that's exactly what Evan said to avoid.
And
Runner on first base now for the power-hitting number 3 hitter, Chris Monroe, who is 0 for 2 today.
And they went with a breaking ball to Heinrich. It was not a good one either. It bounced way short of home plate. And Heinrich is not one of the big boppers in this Lumberjacks lineup. I don't know why you wouldn't just rear up, give him a challenge fastball. The worst thing he can do is make it 5-4. And now you bring up Monroe, who's seen McGee reasonably well today, and he has a chance to tie it.
Monroe takes inside, ball 1. Monroe leads the Lumberjacks in home runs with 2. He has 7 RBIs. And he's 9 for 30, hitting .300. One-zero, foul back into the netting. 1 ball and 1 strike. McGee had 77 pitches heading into this inning. As J.J. Johnson tries to get as much out of McGee as he can. Here in a win-or-go-home game. First round of the playoffs here in the 2023 CWL season. The 1-1. Inside corner, strike 2 to Chris Monroe, who struck out looking back in the second.
That was an excellent breaking ball by McGee. Buried that down and in. Not much of a chance for Monroe to do anything with it, except maybe hit into a double play.
McGee working from the stretch with Heinrich on first. Checks the runner. Kicks and flicks. Foul ball down the right field line, out of play. We'll do it again. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 runner on, 1 away here in the bottom of the 5th.
McGee set Monroe up once again for a good breaking ball, going down and in towards his back foot. He got him to lean out, poking that fastball towards the other part of the plate.
The 1-2 swung on and a line drive to Lara, who gets a glove on it on the hot corner. The second out of the inning.
Man, Lara's been big time over there. That ball was scalded off the bat of Monroe. McGee tried to go with another breaking ball, but it caught a lot of the plate, allowing Monroe to keep his hands back. And just better defense on the part of Alejandro Lara.
Brings up the cleanup hitter, the catcher for Oregon, Scott Combs. Sac fly in the first and grounded out to third. He fouls that off, the first pitch he sees from McGee.
Over the past couple innings, we've also seen a lot of late swings on fastballs from McGee. That's telling me his life is a lot better on that fastball. The hitters are not picking him up quite as well as they did early on. So we're seeing more late swings at the fastball and early swings at his breaking ball.
McGee with his left hand behind his back. Gets the count. Gets the pitch. Driven into center field. Combs flies out as Bloat settles under it. We head to the last 2 innings. The Bluesox looking to hold on to their 5-3 lead. We'll be right back to Palm Springs Stadium after this.
It's getting late, everybody, in day one of the California Winter League playoffs. We go to the top of the sixth, Bluesox clinging to a 5-3 lead, looking to upset the number one overall seed Oregon Lumberjacks in the American Division. Roger Motley III back out for the sixth. He came in to relieve Jared Dingus with a man on first and nobody out. Worked around some iffy command as he gets a foul tip swing and a miss from Taylor Maldonado leading off. Motley missed with each of his first 7 pitches. Ended up walking a batter as well, but he put up a 0. Maldonado pops that one up right side, foul territory. Monroe makes the call. Ooh, and a bit of a circus grab. He had to get himself turned around. Good piece of pitching from Motley, able to record the first out. So we flip back to the top of the order. It'll be James Cross. Hit by a pitch and scored in the first. RBI single in the second. He eventually came around to score. 5-3, Blue Sox is where we stand. All of the offense coming in the first 2 innings. A good curveball to get Cross started 0-1. Dingus and McGee, they've been able to put up zeros each of the past 3 innings. Motley III also aiding in that process. And back-to-back curveballs. He gets the called strike to Cross. It's 0-2. Well, Motley's working at pretty brisk pace this second inning out of the bullpen. Another curveball. Cross goes down on 3 pitches. 3 consecutive curveballs. He's able to punch out Cross.
Motley looks a lot more comfortable on the mound here in his second inning worth of work.
Telling me, he looks like a different man at this point. Who is this new guy?
He is all settled in now.
Lavallee and the Jacks will gladly take it. 2 outs, nobody on base. Another curveball. Bucchino takes a strike. Walked in the first, singled in the fourth. The 0-1 from Motley out of the windup is a breaking ball low, 1-1.
Yeah, his command is a night and day difference compared to his last inning.
The 1-1 with 2 outs. Ball is fouled off at home plate and back to the screen.
And he's working at a way faster pace as well.
We have action in the Blue Sox bullpen. Jacob Roybal continues to throw just in case McGee needs it. Inside 2-2 the count. We'll see if Jimmy Johnson rolls McGee back out there for the 6th. Here's the 2-2 with 2 outs from Motley out of the windup. That's back towards the middle. It's not hit hard. Past the diving Heinrich for a base hit. Seeing eye base hit going right over the second base bag. 9th hit of the day for the Blue Sox lineup, and it gives them a 2-out base runner.
Michael Bucchino is a great hitter. Just getting a piece of that, but sending it right back where it came from to get his 2nd hit this afternoon. He's now 2 for 3.
It brings up Mitch Morales. He doubled in the second, bounced into a double play in the 4th. So he's 1 for 2. Also scored a run in the first after reaching on the fielder's choice. The first pitch is way inside and nearly hit him. Had to go dancing out of the way of that.
Motley does like to work inside against those right-handed hitters.
Well, I had a pitching coach growing up who told me, you go outside for show and you go inside for dough. It's truly what separates a lot of the men from the boys. Tries to go inside, but he misses low. 2-0 the count to Morales. Pretty good lead at first from Bucchino.
He was a stolen base machine.
We'll see if he takes off with the count 2-0.
He's leaning. There he goes.
The pitch taken for a strike on the outside corner. Nowhere near in time is the throw by Combs. Really good jump by Bucchino. Motley tried to vary his delivery pattern, but it doesn't matter. Opportunity for the Blue Sox. The 2-out base hit could give them an insurance run.
Yeah, a 3rd run would be huge. Big difference between a 2-run and a 3-run lead.
Now a long look in from Motley. The second baseman Heinrich keeping the runner close. And a fastball a little low, 3-1 the count. The sidearm throwing Shixuan Zhang is warming up in the Lumberjacks bullpen. Now action in both bullpens. Just in case Motley needs some help. Here's the 3-1 with 2 outs. That ball's line past the diving Puglielli. Base hit to left field. Bucchino being waved around third. The throw home is going to be late. Crossing the plate, standing up, Micah Bucchino. Mitch Morales, his second hit of the day, and an important insurance run. The Blue Sox now lead 6-3 over the Lumberjacks. Boy, that ball was smoked.
Well, that's what can happen when you have 2 outs and a single from the fastest man on your team in Michael Bucchino, who steals second and a runner in scoring position. If you get a ball to the outfield, Bucchino scores easily, and that's exactly what happened as the Blue Sox are able to tack on another insurance run.
95 miles per hour off the bat of Morales. Lavallee will go back to the bullpen. Motley done after an inning and 2/3 of work, allowing an insurance run to cross for the Blue Sox. We'll be back with the new pitcher, Shixuan Zhang, in just a moment. We're back with 2 outs in the top of the 6th inning. Shixuan Zhang takes over on the mound. Submarining right-handed pitcher. The first pitch to foul by Alejandro Lara. Just a moment ago, Mitch Morales was able to plate Micah Bucchino on a base hit, extending the Blue Sox lead 6-3. There goes Morales. That's off the end of the bat out to right center field. Reese on the run, and he's able to make the catch, taking advantage of that great speed. Just a couple pitches, Shixuan Zhang able to retire the side in the top of the 6th. Of course, not for the Blue Sox. Able to get one more run on the board, trying to help out their cause, looking to upset the number 1 overall seed. We'll be back for the bottom of the 6th in just a moment. It truly is getting late for the Oregon Lumberjacks, trailing 6-3 in the bottom of the 6th inning. Trevor McGee will step aside for Jacob Roybal, first man out of the bullpen for the Bluesox. He's been good for them, a 3.31 ERA in 19 innings, 20 strikeouts, only 3 walks in that span. He'll face the 5, 6, 7 men, Andrew Puglielli, Devin McCary, and Shinichiro Ishida. State to a 3-run lead. The first pitch is a breaking ball that dips outside. Only 3 hits at the moment for the Lumberjacks, that powerful offense. Speaking of that, McGee, his line is complete as that fastball's high 2-0. He went the first 5 innings, 3 earned runs to his credit, all 3 of them coming through the first 2 innings, scattering just the 3 hits, 6 strikeouts, and 4 walks. Day in which he, by no means, he did not have his best stuff, but he battled and ultimately kept his team somewhat in position to try to come back. 2-1 the count to Puglielli. Struck out in the first, flew out to center in the third. Roybal out of the windup. Will deal. It's off the hands. Soft liner on one hop, gloved by Morales over the first in time. Morales had to go a long way to get to that ball to make the play. But now the Jacks down to their final 5 outs.
Well, the new pitcher for the Bluesox is Jacob Roybal. Jacob with a great name. Our other broadcast partner, Jacob, and I got a brother named Jacob.
How about that?
Great name all the way around.
And our Jacob has mentioned the Jacobs, they got to stick together. He says just next to me, he has a great name. He does have a good name. Brings up Devin McCary, 0 for 2 with a couple punch-outs. Batting with 1 out and nobody on in the bottom of the 6th, and he's behind 0-1 on a good fastball. Both bullpens quiet at the moment. The 0-1 might have broken his bat. Soft ground ball, gloved by Bucchino at short. Across the diamond, a good play. Really strong arm from the shortstop position for Bucchino. 2 quick outs for Jacob Roybal. It brings up Shinichiro Ishida. He's walked each of his first 2 plate appearances. 2 of the 4 walks issued by Trevor McGee in his start. See if he can get something going. Lumberjacks had a huge win against the Power on Tuesday, the final day of the regular season, to overtake the Chill to be the #1 overall seed. Now in danger of going home on day 1. First pitch of the fastball outside, 1-0. Roybal kicks and deals. That's on the outside corner for strike 1. Ishida not happy about that call. Here's the 1-1. Curveball and a good one, strike 2. Back-to-back pitches called strikes on Ishida. Seeing major reactions from him, not in agreement.
Roybal looks terrific out of the pen for the Sox.
Hey, he's really looked comfortable. The 1-2 at 2 outs. That's a little low, 2-2.
All 8 fielders were headed in. That was a sight to see.
So we'll have to try it again. 2-2, 2 outs, nobody on base. The Bluesox in front 6-3. That's in the dirt, 3-2.
Maldonado was the only one that didn't head in. The 8 other fielders all were a step or 2 towards the Bluesox dugout as Maldonado was still holding it there trying to get the call.
Roybal trying to secure the win for McGee. Delivering 3 consecutive scoreless innings in his start. The full count pitch off the end of the bat, sprayed down the left field line, foul territory, cross on the run, but it'll drop foul into the Lumberjack bullpen.
Across both the playoff games we saw at the stadium today, we're seeing a lot better at-bats from everybody, fouling pitches off, spoiling to see another pitch, putting together great at-bats. seeing as many pitches as they can.
Ishida trying to work his way on base. The 3-2 once again. Fastball on the outside corner, a called strike 3. Ishida knew it right away. He was already walking off. Roybal comes out of the bullpen for the Blue Sox. A quick 1-2-3, bottom of the 6th inning. We're through 6 full at Palm Springs Stadium. Blue Sox trying to pick up a huge upset win over the number 1 seeded Lumberjacks. Well, it's the top of the last on the CWL YouTube. The Blue Sox stake to a 6-3 lead. Jishuen Zhang will get back to work for the Jacks on the mound. He gets a first pitch swing and a miss from Aaron Gex. Zhang came on to get the last out in the 6th inning in relief for Roger Motley. It only took him 2 pitches. That one's bounced towards the hole on the right side. Glove by Heinrich, spins, throws, and a nice pirouette play by Jeff Heinrich to get the first out. He's had an excellent day over at second base.
Heinrich made that look a lot easier than that actually was. So nonchalant, does a quick 360 and delivers a perfect throw to Monroe. That is not an easy play.
As Calvin Rucker will dig in for his 4th at bat. This will be Zhang's 13th game of the season, working nearly exclusively out of the bullpen. He gets a first pitch breaking ball for a called strike. 3.87 ERA in 21 2/3 innings. He's allowed a share of base runners, 25 hits, only 6 walks to go with 21 strikeouts. He works ahead of Rucker, back-to-back curveballs, ahead 0-2. Zhang trying to keep the Blue Sox where they are, make it just a 3-run deficit for the Lumberjacks in the last of the 7. Right back to Zhang, able to field his position well and flips over the first for a second quick out. Pretty nifty, athletic play with the glove. That brings up Robbie Carling. He came in to pinch hit for Alexander Ford in the 5th. He reached on a fielder's choice. Stayed in the game as the designated hitter. He swings the first pitch, and it's a missile out to left field. It drives Gardner back towards the track, and he's able to make the play as he goes running into the left field wall. Tough to tell from back here if he made the play for a moment, but a really nice running grab. 4 up, 4 down coming out of the bullpen for Jishuen Zhang. And the Blue Sox retired in order in their half of the 7th. We'll go to the bottom half. Last chance for the Lumberjacks when we return, trailing by 3 to the Blue Sox. It's the last of the 7th on the CWL YouTube for our final game of the day on day 1 of our postseason. 8-9-1, Pamelia, Garner, and Jalen Reese, the scheduled hitters. Jacob Roybal back out for his second inning of work in relief for Trevor McGee, trying to secure the win. His first pitch out of the windup is in there for a called strike to Pamelia. Pamelia had an RBI double in the second. He eventually came around to score. Virtually no offense since that point for the Jacks. Only 3 hits overall, virtually blanked since the second inning. Nothing but zeros from then on. Trailing 6-3 to the Blue Sox. A Blue Sox team that came in 4-11, but in position to upset the number 1 overall seed in the American Division. Soft ground ball gobbled up by Bucchino, and a strong throw able to get Pamelia by half a step. 1 out in the bottom of the 7th.
Oh, am I excited for these next 3 days, Evan. More playoff baseball continues, ending on Sunday with the championship game. Today's games have been nothing short of spectacular. So entertaining, great. For the most part, clean baseball.
Brings up Champ Garner. Reached on a fielder's choice in the second, struck out in the 4th. Can the Jacks get something going? As Gardner takes a fastball in the dirt for ball 1. As it skipped off the shin guard of Maldonado. Well, the full day tomorrow at the stadium. Only 2 games on the day, no action on the turf field. Here's the 1-0 from Roybal. Ball hits softly foul over towards the Lumberjacks dugout. The Bombers will take on the A's, featuring the Canadian side of the bracket. And with the Manitoba North Stars defeating the Toronto Rush, they take on the number 1 overall seed, the Alberta Grizzly. Fastball outside to Gardner, 2-1. And, of course, all that action, 10 a.m. and 12:30 Pacific time on the CWL YouTube. The 2-1 with 1 out. It's off the end of the bat, and that'll fall into center field for a base hit past the outstretched glove of Morales. A 1-out base runner for the Lumberjacks, just their 4th hit of the day.
If you're Oregon, you just need to get as many base runners as you can past the baton through that lineup. So nice job from Garner to get that started. Flipping it back around to the top of the lineup, trying to put a rally together, down 3 runs here in your last opportunity, down to your last 2 outs of the CWL season.
Also the first hit for the Jacks since the 2nd inning, as we sit with 1 out in the bottom of the 7th. First pitch to the leadoff man, Reese, is fouled into the screen. Fastball towards the outer half. Jalen Reese singled in the first on an infield hit, walked in the second, struck out in the 5th. Shortly the first from Garner, doubt we'll see him go anywhere. The Jacks trailing 6-3 in the last of the 7th. Way outside, 1-1. One more base runner for Oregon could make things pretty interesting. The second man, Heinrich, on deck. Monroe looming in the hole. The 1-1. Check swing. It's fouled at home plate. Reese now behind 1-2. Roybal trying to shut the door on the Lumberjacks season, upsetting the number 1 overall seed. Looking for a date with the chill, looming for the American Division Championship game on Saturday. Check on the runner, and back on the dive is Garner, no tag. Now longer looking from Roybal. He has slowed down his pace with a man on. The 1-2. Fouled back by Reese. He's able to stay alive. We've seen some good long at-bats from both sides in this game.
That one looked like Roybal left it over the plate just a little bit, and Reese missed it. But still able to get a piece of it to see another one.
Nothing but offense through the first 2 innings. 5 runs for the Blue Sox through 2. 3 through the first 2 for the Jacks. Blue Sox able to add insurance in the 6th, and that's where we stand, 6-3 Blue Sox, as Reese fouls another one back. Trying to keep the Jacks season alive. Blue Sox set up to turn 2. Morales playing the lefty Reese to pull just a little bit over towards the hole on the right side. The 1-2 again. Swung on and missed. Reese goes after a breaking ball, tailing back over the plate. Second strikeout for Roybal out of the bullpen. And Oregon down to its final out. It's down to Jeff Heinrich. He singled in the first, hit a sacrifice fly in the second, and walked in the 5th. He's had a great day defensively at second base, but they need his bat. Got to get on base with the tying run on deck. He swings the breaking ball, high chopper, gloved by Lara, across the diamond in time to retire the side. The number 4 seed Washington Blue Sox have just upset the number 1 overall seed in the American Division, Oregon Lumberjacks, by a score of 6-3. Roybal able to finish it off, going the final 2 out of the bullpen, securing the win for Trevor McGee. Battling over 5 innings, what a team effort. The bats came out hot and heavy against Jared Dingus and the Lumberjacks, and that was enough. 6-3 is our final for our final game of the day at Palm Springs Stadium. We'll be back tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. 2 more games, 10 a.m. and 12:30 p.m. The Canada A's will take on the British Columbia Bombers on the Canadian side of the division. And with the Manitoba North Stars knocking off the Toronto Rush earlier today on the turf, they get a date with the Alberta Grizzly. All that action will be on the CWL YouTube at Palm Springs Stadium. On behalf of my partner Joey Senna, I'm Evan Schmeiser, signing off for the last time today.